10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hello and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is June 8th. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of updates for you, so let's get started. The first one here is an update from Joe, who says, hello, node operators. Good news for many of you who are eagerly awaiting it. SmartNode version 1.9.6 has just been released. It's an optional update for all users. It provides support for the new gETH and Nethermind releases with some noteworthy improvements. Below is a list of the key changes and full patch notes are on GitHub. So there's an update for Besu, gETH and Nethermind, so all the execution layer clients. So gETH are doing a new database for their system, for their client, and it will basically update things. So they'll be using a new database here, and it says gETH version 1.12.0 now uses Pebble by default for all new node syncs. It will still work with existing nodes that are synced with the old level DB database. If you'd like to use Pebble instead, which is generally faster and more reliable, especially recovering after an unexpected shutdown, you will need to resync with Rocket Pool service to resync ETH1. And then there's Nethermind update that will let you choose how you want to install Nethermind, whether you want to download the complete history or whether you just want to get everything since the merge, I want to say, or maybe, yeah, the vegan chain was launched, sorry, so December 2020, and that is just a 523 gigabyte update fresh sync. So of course, you can use the rescue node or a fallback if you have one while you are updating your execution layer client, but this is really nice that the users will have this option to get the more efficient databases and save space and make it a little bit easier for them to run their nodes. So that's really great from the gETH and Nethermind teams. Okay, and of course, as always, if you update to version 1.9.6 within 24 hours of launch, you will get this POAP that Schifrin made. It says upgrade complete, version 1.9.6. It says leave a screenshot of your version in this thread. So here there's a screenshot of the information that you need to leave, like showing that you are running client version 1.9.6, and then you will get a POAP for that. So while you're here, you can also use the same screenshot in the RPL Client Diversity drive to get 3 POAPs and a raffle ticket for that as well if you are not using gETH. So as you can see here, most of the people who've shared their screenshots already, I don't think any of them are using gETH so far. Oh, here's Munchkiner. So disappointed in you, Munchkiner, who's using gETH. And then Schifrin comment saying, interesting execution client you have there, sir. So then most of the people are using Nethermind. Actually, there's Besu from Papa, but almost everyone who is sharing their screenshots is not using gETH, which is really amazing. So good job, everyone. Okay, next we got this really exciting bit of news that came out from Stokes today from the All Core Devs meeting. Actually, let's go there and then we'll come back to Jasper. He says EIP 4788 was just greenlit for Cancun. This EIP supports better designs for staking pools, restaking and bridging and bridges, and excited for the deployment. So here Kane replies by saying, thanks for your efforts in making this happen. So what is this exactly? So here Jasper says, this is unbelievably good news. I'll put a thread together in the near future, but getting the beacon chain route accessible will de-risk all LSTs and enable Rocket Pool to greatly expand their design space. Forced exits, anyone? So right now, the way the beacon chain works is that there's 2 layers to it pretty much. Let's just think of it like that. There are 2 paths that are running at the same time. There's the execution layer and then there's the consensus layer. The execution layer is where you see like all your transactions happen and all like any kind of interaction you have with the Ethereum blockchain through your wallet pretty much happens on the execution layer. And if you're a node operator, then all the attestations you do, the proposals you make, sync committees you're part of, that all happens on the consensus layer. Sadly, there's no way for the execution layer to communicate with the consensus layer, so it's not possible to know what's going on across each other. So the problem that like staking services like Rocket Pool has is there are certain actions that you need to know both what's happening in both places. And if you don't know what's happening in both places, then you need someone to put that data together and kind of like present it. And with Rocket Pool, that happens with the ODAO, and there, the people who are kind of keeping track of those two sides of information and putting it together and presenting it like the oracle to the Rocket Pool protocol. With this EIP 4788, this is really huge because it means that having that channel of communication open between the execution and consensus layer, now you will not need, I'm not sure whether it'll be some or maybe like most, hopefully all of the ODAO's duties could be removed. And also we'll be able to do something called forced exits, hopefully, which is really amazing. So there's some really, really cool stuff here. Once Jasper has this thread, I'll definitely cover that as well. But there was a lot of talk in trading about this. So Nick was the first person to respond to Jasper's tweet saying this is huge. And then there's other comments. People are just saying about how EIP naming doesn't actually help much, and it might be good for different name types. But yeah, people were discussing this. If you want to go and dig into, dig into the discussion, then pop into trading and have a look at what people were saying there, because it's really, really cool news. Okay, another cool news that we got, there's this proposal that's come into the Indexcoop, into the governance forum, to add rETH folded or leveraged staking yield to make it into a token. So for those of you who know, there's icrETH token, or icrETH, I think it's, yeah, icrETH, it's just called icrETH. So what happens with that token is that is leveraged Lido stETH, and like leveraging, we've talked on Rocket Fuel a bunch of times about how you can have like folding as one kind of leverage. Like, you deposit your rETH, you get ETH in return, you use that ETH to buy more rETH, and then you do that like a whole bunch of times to increase your yield. Well, instead of you doing that now, you can just buy this one token called icrETH that will hopefully go through their governance and get added, and will automatically have that leverage built into it. So let's have a look what it says here. It says launch leveraged rETH staking yield. icrETH is now live in the Indexcoop governance forum. The icrETH will be a leveraged staked ETH product providing amplified exposure to Rocket Pool's rETH token with automated risk management. So they'll be like changing position depending on what levels of risk are themselves, and it'll be automated in the back end. And this is differentiation. There's currently no other tokenized products that optimize for decentralization by offering the leverage staking trade using Rocket Pool's rETH. However, there are several competitors that offer similar value proposition using Lido's stETH. So there's InstantApp Lite again, Indexcoop, of course, and there's Cyan or Kian as well. And then they use mixes of Aves version 3 or version 2 or Morpho as well, and between them they have a TVL of around I want to say like $90 million, which is not insignificant, right? Like it's a fairly substantial amount of money. So it says icrETH will be differentiated that will run on Aves version 3 and take advantage of their E mode, which enables significantly higher safe leverage ratio and higher potential returns compared to the stETH leveraged staking trade on Aave version 2. So there might be a chance that you could get better rewards there. Of course, it all comes down to just how efficient the folding is at that time. And then it says, based on backtesting data, the median historical return of icrETH would have been a 10.52% APR with an average return of 9.92% APR. So that is pretty much double of where we are now, which is absolutely amazing. It says read more about the product and leave feedback in our governance forum. So there's a link to the governance forum in the discussion. So go and have a look. And this would be wonderful, for us to get the leveraged rETH token. Of course, it has risks involved. It has issues that come with that, but it gives people the option as long as they know what the issues are. So comments here like great work, and and then yeah, and then there's like two estimators for the flashing for the thing as well. So it's really good stuff. Okay, Joe here popped into trading yesterday with kind of attention, asking for attention. He says, attention everyone, I just posted a proposal for reward spec version 6 in the DAO forum. Go forth, read and give me feedbacks. Thank you for your time. So if you go to the DAO forum, I'm sorry that it's going to cut off on your screen a little bit. He says, hi all, in this post I'd like to formally raise a proposal for version 6 of the rewards tree spec. Version 5 has been quite successful, so much that has been used for several intervals so far. That being said, there's some opportunities for improvements. So, to cut a long story short, there's 2 changes to spec and 2 clarifications. So one is calculating attestation performance for the smoothing pool. And then there's some information here. He says they only really impact solo stake and migrations. And then the next one is Oracle DAO RPL reward prorating. So as a new ODA member joins, they'll only get a percentage of that month for their rewards. And this one, the requested patches original post, it makes sense to do it. We have the time a node joined. So we have the time a node joined the Oracle DAO on chain, so we'll use that as the basis when calculating each member's rewards instead of the node registration time. This was unanimously voted upon by the community already. And then there's a couple of clarifications here as well. The mini pool eligibility section is now marked as optional, and the new scoring system will process attestations the same way with or without it. And there's a new section called optional removing idle mini pools, which clarifies that prior to new rewards calculation, mini pools with no score or no successful or missing attestations can be removed from subsequent calculations. The rocket pool rewards interval files include a mini pool performance file for the interval, and this simply clarifies that this is not an error if such mini pools do not appear in that file. And then there's a note about prorated exits as well. So this hasn't really yielded any discussion so far, but it has got 9 likes. I think it's pretty straightforward that this will be adopted. They seem like good common sense changes. So yeah, I'm interested to see what the discussion there will be. It started yesterday, so I expect people to pop in at some point in the next couple of days. But for me, I'm happy for that to go through. Okay, so yesterday, people kind of were talking about what gigapools are. So we kind of mentioned gigapools on Rocket Fuel, I think yesterday or the day before, about this idea that you just have a single contract where all your mini pools would be, instead of having many different ones. So here, just gigapools, if gigapools come to fruition, I'm just going to run validators till the end of time. And then S&G said, what are gigapools? And Kane says gigapools are logical progression. So Joe explains it's one contract for all your mini pools instead of one contract per mini pool. And then A35U says, why wouldn't they come online? And Joe says because Kane's busy. And then Kane says when they come online. So Mambo-san says no megapools, straight to giga. And then Kane says, I'm also thinking about gigapools. Dave doesn't like megapools. So they're just kind of talking about what it is. And then they talked a little bit about, how it's going to really help bring gas prices down, how it will open up the option for having LEB4s, because they'll just make it a lot more gas efficient for people to use it. And you won't have to wait too long until you can claw your money back. Here, Nick from NodeSet came in and he says, when you have much of a chance of it, like a mega giga whatever pool architecture is a mostly high level ideation at this point. So now people started asking questions, yeah. So Joe says it won't be done until we get a 4788 at the very least. It needs a beacon route to work. And of course, the beacon route, now we know that it's going to be in the next hard fork, which is absolutely amazing. So Kane says, pretty high level stuff. The main blocker is the reason why we chose the current design of one validator per mini pool. And that's because we use the balance of mini pool to determine the validator has exited. And that's how we decide to distribute the ETH. With the incoming beacon state route, the general idea would be that you submit state proof to distribute/withdraw instead. So they'll be changing the way that it's calculated. And then Nick says that I figured that would be the way it would work. And non-fungible Yoakum says, I would expect the figuring out exits and withdrawals would be tricky part. Like you might have to exit all the validators in Gigapool to do a full withdrawal. And then Joe says, with 4788, we turn the Merkle tree goodness up to 11. Everything becomes a Merkle tree. So you get some really good abilities to like do stuff then, and hopefully it won't be too bad. So Kane and there was like a nice little discussion that was going on, so that was really cool. And definitely popping, there's some stuff that I'm can't really cover for time, but it was a nice little discussion that went on for quite a while, so check it out. Okay, next we have this really interesting piece of information that came through. So CoinTrades, who is an account that I don't follow, but I saw on my timeline because our Rocket Pool intern replied to them, was saying that Algo has now been pushed down to number 45 spot based on market cap, sitting below EOS and RPL. So someone was like, what is RPL, right? But the thing that really caught my attention is that this position here, you can just about see it on the screen, the RPL token, Rocket Pool's RPL was number 44 on CoinMarketCap. Here, this is a screenshot from CoinMarketCap. That's where it peaked. Previously, like I almost use CoinGecko, and the highest I'd ever seen it before was 49. Even on CoinGecko yesterday, it was at 47. Let's have a look where we are now. We are at 46. So even on CoinGecko, we've gone up one position, which is really amazing. Like we're climbing, right? Like this is the RPL token doing really well, and even though the price might seem like it's forever 47, we still are like kind of grinding at that point when the other tokens are going down, and it's really solid. Like this is really solid. Like there's a whole bunch of really big protocols that are behind us, like Optimism, Aave, Phantom, Tezos, Theta Network, Immutable X. These are really huge projects that are below like Flow, like all of these things, like they're below the RPL token, and that just goes to show the strength of RPL in these last few months, since Atlas and Shanghai. Another really interesting thing here is like you can just see the Rocket Pool rETH is climbing up the rankings really quickly as well. Every time there's new rETH minted, of course, it adds to the market cap of the Rocket Pool ETH on the market cap, and it's just up only. So I think it's only a matter of time before that overtakes the RPL token, and I'm totally okay with that. That would be awesome. But Rocket Pool, the token's like grinding upwards. In the rankings, it's staying flat in the price, but that just means as other tokens come down, then it keeps going up, which is really amazing. Like really amazing. So just for comparison, the Lidont token is at number 31. Its market cap is about $1 billion more than Rocket Pool. What's really interesting here is though that the Lidont staked ETH token, the STETH, is at 13 billion market cap, which of course is in the top 10 now. It's number 7. It's ahead of Cardano, Dogecoin, Solana, Polygon, all of those, which is remarkable. So I'm hoping that the rETH token will be getting into the top 20 by the end of the year. That would be amazing. We'd only have to kind of go like 3x on the amount. I think that might be pushing it a little bit, but one can be in hope. But solid growth, protocol growth, TVL growth, which is wonderful. Okay, so earlier we were mentioning the client diversity, and of course you all know there's a campaign going on for Rocket Pool to better client diversity on the execution layer. Well, Shifrin here dropped the first POAP today. It didn't get distributed yet, but the art for it was designed. So here we see Ethereum client diversity POAP number 1, June 23. So this is the POAP that was designed by Shifrin, which is really beautiful. Like it's a really great POAP. Let's just use this as an excuse to have a quick look at the client diversity website. The main part now is to look at the board. Okay, the prizes are 35 RPL. That's really nice. 0.4 ETH. Ledger Nano X, and 2 Rocketeer Generation 1 and 2 Rocketeer version 2s, which is really great. And then let's have a look. There's a whole bunch of people now that have migrated. So the other day the list looking kind of small, but now the list is getting longer, and the list of people who have used minority clients already, that's there as well. And yeah, there's additional POAPs for donating, and all donations go into the raffle prize pool, and then there's a donation wallet as well. So donate to that raffle. It'll be taking place, I guess, in the beginning of July, once the month is up, to get as many people moved over as possible. That's really exciting. Okay, so yesterday we broke our streak. Maybe it was the day before that we broke our streak of 1,000 ETH into the deposit pool every day. However, today, we kind of came back with a vengeance. So this whale here deposited 1,000 ETH, and then another 1,000 ETH, and there was another whale here as well who was like depositing another 1,000 ETH and like a whole lot of ETH. So the deposit pool today was looking really nice. If you have a look at the daily amount, there was 5,600 ETH coming into the deposit pool. On the weekly level, we're already at 32,000. That was hugely boosted by the 21,000 ETH mint, but compared to like previous weeks, we're right up there now. We're on track actually for an all-time high week. If we have another couple of good days, we just need 2 more good days to get an all-time high week, which is amazing. June, we're on June 8th, and we've already hit 45,000. So we're on track for potentially an all-time high month if possible. And for the year, we just broke a milestone where we have 303,000 ETH now happened today, that we broke the 300,000 point there as well. So that's really great. So the one thing that might stop us from really getting the growth that we want carrying on in this month is the fact that now the deposit pool is not empty. There's 1,500 ETH in there, so new mini pools will be using that ETH, which means it could potentially fill up, and then we might be constrained by node operators, like not having enough node operators. At the moment, it seems like there's a nice balance between people depositing and people minting. So hopefully that will continue. This is the sweet spot. This is a really great place because the TVL is growing. There's always rETH available on the protocol itself. You don't have to go to the secondary market to buy or to sell, to mint or to burn. And mini pools are, they don't have to wait in the rocket pool queue like they did a few weeks ago. Now you just have to wait in the beacon chain queue, which is brutal, but there's no way of avoiding that right now. And potentially there might not be for a while. Okay, moving on from that, there's some really nice DeFi boosts here that you can get involved in if you are into that kind of stuff. So PenPy, had this information saying, this is from Pendle, yeah. Had this information about 2 new pools. One was a wrapped SDETH pool from Lidont, and one was an rETH pool from Rocket Pool. This is deposit your assets on PenPy or PenP and automatically increase your Pendle rewards by 2x. Both are available on Arbitrum, and then there's a link where you can deposit it there. So yesterday the yields were looking absolutely ridiculous. On the Lido token there was 250% returns, and on the Rocket Pool there was 304% returns. So people were kind of asking questions today about how can they give a number this big? Well, the way that happens is, first of all, you get your rETH or your Lido rewards as your base rewards, right? And on top of that, you're not getting more ETH as rewards. What you're doing is you're getting the token of the company. So here it's Pendle, or the protocol, sorry. So here it's Pendle who are giving you their token as a reward. Now, what they'll do is they'll incentivize this pool. So they will say, for this particular trading pair, we will give $10,000 a week, for example, to people who deposit liquidity in there to be divided out equally. So right as the pool starts, that $10,000 a week would only be going to one person, for the first 5 or 10, 20 minutes or an hour or a day, if uptake is slow. So those APRs in those first few minutes, hours or days can look really nice. But as people realize that, there's a product here that is giving boosted yields, more and more people pile into it. And then eventually the incentives go down. So then you end up with a rate of return of 3, 4, 5, 6%, 7, 8, 9, 10% maybe if some incentives stay for a while. So it's very important to keep your eye on this, that, this number that you see right there of 304% is not going to stay for a long time. In fact, this is from last night, 22 hours ago. Let's have a look right now and see what the rates are. So if we stake with Pendle, let me see if I can find it. I've never actually visited this website before. Liquidity pools or rETH, WETH. Let me see. So there's, let me see if I can go to the link directly. Pendle, yeah, on Pendle Finance. Let me see on Pendle Finance. So we have this Lido one here on Pendle Finance. So that's now 22.8%, which is still like a huge boost, but it's way less than it was yesterday. And then I think the other one was this. No, it just says Rocket Pool ETH. Yeah, well, that's the way you can go. Like, you can play around with the website and see what else there is there. But there's this one, you know, Aura rETH wETH one that's boosted 2.5. Yeah, so that must be the one, I guess. That's Pendle Finance as well, and then that is 25.74%. So there's a whole lot of there's like, you know, the rewards have come down massively, and as you can see that the TVL has grown. Lido one's gone up to 1.2 million, and the Aura rETH wETH one has gone up to 202,000. So yeah, approach these projects at like in like, be cautious, because the numbers can be misleading, or they can be you know, like a rug pull potentially. I'm definitely not saying Pendle is a rug pull or anything like that, but you know, do your own research before you interact with any of these kind of protocols. Okay, and then there's more information about Pendle here as well. It says the Rocket Pool, rETH, and WST pools, STETH pools are both live on Pendle on Arbitrum. With this, we're ready to kickstart the liquidity flywheel for LSD and LSTFi on Arbitrum. Deeper liquidity, faster growth, boundless possibilities await. And then it says, you know, the LSDs already exist on Arbitrum, but deeper liquidity is needed to capture the same vibrance we see on Ethereum. With this launch, Pendle is positioned to assist in unlocking richer, stickier liquidity that can be used in other protocols on Arbitrum, which is really exciting. And then, you know, as a liquidity provider, you can receive up to 150% API with rETH or WST on Arbitrum with minimal impermanence loss considerations, because, you know, they're metastable pairs, and any liquidity supplied continues to contribute to the underlying protocol's TVL. And then on top of driving liquidity Arbitrum, Pendle also enables more utility for these yield assets. Holders can now tap into our yield management facilities for the speculation and trading of LST yields on Arbitrum, starting with rETH and WST. So that's the information right there. And then they go on and give more information in the thread as well. So definitely give that a read if you are interested. But it seems like people are really excited about this, and you know, it's already had like 50,000 views. So people are definitely putting their eyes on this. Right, next we have an update from Ramana and others in the Vampire, you know, the Lidont thread. So one version of the contract was published to goerli today. So you can, well, about 20 hours ago. So you can go and have a look at the contract there. You can start interacting with it. Mad Matt here was already interacting with it and kind of playing around with it. The discussion has been going on all day about getting the tokens right, and like getting the memes culture right, and getting the branding right. And people have been coming up with some really nice imagery. So definitely go and have a look at that. Where is it? So people like Sleety kind of like came up with this GIF as well. Don't let Lido eat Ethereum. So it's Lido logo, and then it becomes Lidont. Then the caption is don't let Lido eat Ethereum. But people have been kind of like playing around with logos. There's a whole lot of different things going on. If you have any kind of development experience, whether that's smart contract, front end work, graphic design work, even like anything like that, pop into this thread, because you know, there could definitely, people there could definitely use your help. Hopefully it all goes well. So yeah. Okay, next we have this update from Hodja, who had a bet with trevorn last month about whether or not the smoothing pool would have 700 ETH deposited into it in this last period. Hodja lost the bet, so he lost one RPL that went to trevorn. Trevorn was kind enough to donate that one RPL to the Rocket Fuel 200th episode raffle. So if you follow the addresses here, you can see that you know, the rocketfuelraffle.eth is the address. at 18.19 RPL have been donated in there. A whole bunch of NFTs, 0.7 ETH. So sadly, I used some of that for setting up the ENS that Ramano was so kind to donate. But yeah, I'm still accepting donations. We got another donation here from Dave Marley.eth who sent 3 RPL. Huaraga, I already mentioned, sent 0.5. Jasper, of course, is in the lead with 10 RPL, which is really wonderful. I'll be adding some of my own RPL to this before the raffle goes live. If you are interested in providing any donations for this raffle, 100% of the proceeds will go to raffle winners. I will not keep any of it for myself. So, I'm just putting that out there. The raffle will happen live. All the donations will happen through trading. It'll all be verified with people. So, yeah, there's going to be POAP. I'm going to be putting that information out probably on Monday about how you can enter the raffle if you are not a contributor and like how that's going to work. But I'm going to finish the episode with the sneak peek of the new Rocket Pool website. So it's a spoof from Dr. Doofus here, who says I have this I have a sneak peek of the new website, and it's a picture of the New York skyline, like all orange because of the smog and the fire ash that's coming down from Canada. So it's like super orange. So Dr. Doofus was kind of funny and made that into a little thing that's kind of funny, not funny. but yeah, it's funny. But I'm going to end the episode on that note now. I hope you're all having a lovely week, and tomorrow's Friday, so yay, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.